Hey everyone, welcome to this October Halloween's favourites video. I have a few tarot decks, an oracle deck and a few little spiritual bits and bobs to share with you. My tarot decks are my classic decks that I've worked with a few times, and I thought that they would be appropriate for this time of year. My first deck that I love this year, this time of year, is my Ghost and Spirits Tarot by Lisa Hunt. She does an amazing tarot deck to use around the October fall time. As you can see, the back is this blue with the 3 ghosts circling around, and then the artwork on it is gorgeous. It's really quite gothic. It's really, what's the word I'm looking for? Ethereal. It's if not one for you if you're a bit more, if you like the light-based ones, you know, if you work with angels. But if you want a bit more of a spooky vibe this time of the year, this deck delivers. It gives really good readings. It's quite honest, I would say, and very to the point. And the readings that I have done with it came true as well. Someone that I read with was told that she was going to go through a bit of a difficult time, and it did. It came about. So these aren't to be taken lightly, but I don't take all my decks lightly, but some I find give a bit more sweeter. We all give, some of us give personalities to our decks, and I'm one of them. But I do like this deck. I like it for the spooky vibe. I like working with it this time of year. I like the artwork. I think the artist is amazing. I love Lisa Hunt. And the next one is one that I'm sure a lot of people have seen on YouTube, and it's the Halloween Oracle. And this one is just so cheeky and cute. You've got the backing, you've got the bats and the brooms and the cats, and then you've got the artwork. There is a lot of Halloween themes in here. There's a lot of skulls in here. You've got the veil, the graveyard, death, which is a part of life, unfortunately. You've got small skulls, you've got zombies, forgiveness. It's a cheeky deck, and I like playing with it this time of the year. And the last deck that is one of my all-time favourite decks, and it's not something that I've picked up this month, but it's something that I've had for a few years and I work with, and they tend to tell me off if I don't work with them enough, is my Celtic Dragon Tarot. And the back of it is quite simple, I think, but the artwork on it I like. It's hand drawn. It looks like it's been hand drawn, and you may find prettier decks. You may find that you don't like this type of artwork, or that you're not particularly drawn to the backs of it. But I find that this deck, I've worked with it over and over again. I've done client readings, I've done personal readings with it. This deck really talks to me personally. It's very honest, it gets to the point. It's a very intuitive deck. Obviously I've studied the tarot, but with my decks they tend to talk to me. I have, they give me feelings that, I am an intuitive reader, and this deck is one of the decks that I do get intuitive readings from. It's just a deck that I will come back to time and time again. it's one of my top favourite decks. I've worked with it over and over again. Like if someone's obviously got a query, I can use this deck and it will speak to me. It's one of my favourite decks. It's one of my favourite dragon decks. And I can't say enough, I can't fault it. Cardstock, it's a bit, flimsy, but if you riffle shuffle, not rifle, you'll find that you can do it quite easily. And yeah, 10 out of 10, I love this deck. So those are my decks. I have brought 1 or 2 new decks this month. I have a few on my to get list for Christmas or Yule, but because I haven't worked with them as much, or I'm still working on them, I'm not going to tell you it's a favourite, because I don't think that's fair. I think that you should have worked with them, you should connect, you should be using them to class them as a favourite of the month. Now, this is the next item on my list that was a favourite for this month. I went into a shop in my town, in my local city, and I brought this Palo Santos incense stick, and it is amazing. It's really, really, really strong, and I've never seen incense sticks. I've seen the wood sticks that you can burn. This, you just light it, and it obviously sends the fragrance all around the house. It's so strong though, that I use it when I want to give the room a bit of a cleansing, or if I want to cleanse an item, I will use this. But if you can get hold of it, or if you like working with Palo Santo, buy some, because it's brilliant. It smells lovely as well. Like I said, make sure maybe you keep the door open or a window open if you're burning it in a particular room, because my dog loves it, and that is sarcasm. The next item on the list are these little Halloween figures, and I ordered it. You have to go into the shop, it's called Liberty Bell, and I've been buying these little figurines for a few years now, and I love them. They're like handmade, they've got all little cats and pumpkins and ghosts, and this one says all boos are welcome, and this one says night watchman on duty, and it's something that I use to decorate my altar and to decorate space around my home. And they're nice, solid, not too expensive. I think this was a couple of pounds, and it's something that I can keep forever. So those are my favourites for this month. I mean, you've got to find a few Halloween little trick-or-treats. The next one, my favourite crystal of the month, is hematite. And I went into a shop where I bought the incense, Rainforest it's called, and I saw this little Buddha, and I picked it up, and he's so heavy and grounding. It's amazing. I love the shape of him. I keep it on my little meditation shelf that I have, and every time I look at him, he makes me smile. So hematite this month for me is one that I was drawn to. It's very grounding, very protective, solid, and I find that when you're working with certain energies around October, when you're working on communication with past loved ones, or ancestral work, that you need to make sure that you stay pretty grounded and in the here and now, and this has helped me a lot. But on the other hand, I like the Buddha figures. They make me feel calmer and more peaceful, and this has definitely worked out for me. So he's one of my favourites of the month. The book that I want to talk about this month is the second book of Crystal Spells by Ember Grant. And if you've read any of her books, she has obviously the first book and the second. This is the second book. And if you've read her books, she doesn't go into really complicated spells or anything like that. She's very short and sweet and to the point, and they're easy to do. And I brought this second book because she goes into detail about salt and I thought that was really interesting to use to see, because obviously salt's a bit more easier than 5 different types of crystals that you need for one spell or something. And I am so glad that I brought this book. It's really, really good. A lot of her spells and grids and things that she does talk about in this book, she actually says that you can make it as simple as you want, or you can actually add to it and make it more complicated. She goes into crystals and tarot. She goes into the salt of the earth and different salt spells that you can use different salt types with. She talks about grids works, different crystals, and using them for different spells. She talks about crystal rituals and spells for Sabbats and Esbats, which I'm actually going to use this Samhain. I'm going to use one of her works for that. But if you can get hold of it, or if it piques your interest, I would recommend it to anyone. It's a great reference book. Both of the books are, but I'd say the second one's better. I enjoy it more. And it's something that you can go back to. You can use. She actually has. She puts. What was I looking at? She's actually put grids that you can use for prosperity, for balance in relationships. She's got candle grids, the feather grid, the sprout grid, grid for completion, circles and starbursts. But you can use that and you can take it and add to it, or you can just use what she's put down. She's got pet healing spell using Dalmatian stone, Cornelian energy spell, bloodstones, talisman for courage. Let's see if I can find one of the spells just to see. There's one of the grids that she's put in that you can use. I want to see if I can find a spell for you just so you can... Yeah, there's a thing. She gives you a little chance, and then she gives you... This is like a really small spell, and then she's bigger. But it is a really good book. I read it in a couple of days. I've obviously bookmarked where I'm working next from. And I think it was well worth the money, and it's something that I will use again and again. I love it. The next thing I did buy this month, and it's not a tarot or oracle deck, it is a altar deck by Terry Foss, and she does amazing artwork. There you go, Terry Foss. She's quite popular on Instagram, and I do actually follow her. I've got her what have I got? I've got her elemental oracle deck, I want to call it. I can't remember what it's called at the top of my head, but it's awesome. If you like her artwork, but you can't afford to, obviously, you spend, a couple of £100. I love her decks because you get the artwork and then you can use them for different things. This is her altar set deck too, and it's got a mixture of Christmas, I think, and Halloween and the moons. It's just, I really appreciate her artwork. I think she's a very talented woman, and I can see me using these in rituals to decorate my altar with, if I want to meditate, if I do really complicated grids, if I do tarot spreads for myself. Maybe not so much for clients. I could add it on if I wanted to, but the possibilities are endless, and only your imagination is stopping you. But these were, I think they were $20 or something. I can't remember how much I paid for them in pounds, but I would recommend them to anyone. It was super fast shipping. She's a lovely woman. The only problem I had was I didn't read the description properly, and they were smaller than I thought they were going to be. Because they were an altar deck, card deck, I thought maybe they'd be a bit bigger. But hey ho, I still love them. I also trimmed the sides to make it a bit curvier. But yeah, I can sit here, go through them, and I just find them extremely beautiful. Honestly love the artwork that she's done. If you like them, let me know, and what I'll do is I'll post a video and I'll go through each picture for you. But yeah, Terry Foss, check her out. She's done a couple of decks. That's my dog in the background. And this is my altar deck, and I'm going to use that. And it comes in this little black cloth. My last thing for the month, if you've seen my first September video, you'll know that I have had a few little figurines delivered to me from my partner for our anniversary, and this was the last one, and this is Ludo from the Labyrinth, and he is adorable. He stands like this, and every time I look at those black eyes, I think he's so cute. But I love the Dark Crystal and I love the Labyrinth, and this one and my other figurine were the two that I chose. I really want to get the blue caterpillar from the Labyrinth, but I just want the caterpillar because I think every time he says "come in for a nice cup of tea," it just makes me giggle. It's a personal reference, that one. But yeah, this is another little figurine. I don't think I'm going to get any more for a while. These were the two that I just really wanted, and I love, and he sits over on my shelf near my amethyst flame. So yeah, many blessings, happy Halloween, and I hope that you've all had a lovely month and that November is brilliant as well. Blessed be.